Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing good. One of our listeners was reading about autoerotic asphyxia, and they wanted us to look into it further, if there are any fail-safes or if there are any rules when it comes to regarding autoerotic asphyxiation. This is a disclaimer. We are not encouraging the practice, or we are not. This won't be like a kink shaming episode. This is just general knowledge that we have gathered from the internet. In the past few years, autoerotic asphyxiation has been a common theme in popular movies, in popular culture. For instance, there is an episode in BoJack Horseman where one of the characters is found in their office with their pants down and a noose around their neck hanging. Then in what do we call it? There's this movie Boardwalk Empire. There is Boardwalk Empire. There's this character who loves being choked with a belt while having sex. And also, like with the like popularity of books like 50 Shades and access to porn and all that stuff, there's been an increase in the intake of different types of porn and how people now relate with each other. And a few years ago, there was a chick who died in Kiambu, during sex after being choked. So, erotic asphyxiation refers to when airflow is constricted to create some sensation during sex. It can either be physiological, whereby the air is constricted on your neck, and then when the pressure on the neck is released, there's a rush of blood into your brain, creating an euphoria. There is psychological, whereby the act of being dominated creates a feeling of a high or emotion, or erotic emotion. Then there is physical, whereby the body may confuse the rush of blood back to your brain with a high, and can reward with dopamine and all those hormones. So as a disclaimer, this erotic asphyxiation, either be with a partner or alone, they can lead to serious injury, cardiac arrest, death, brain damage, and even hematomas. So we are going to look at what happens when you are alone. When you are alone, it's called autoerotic asphyxiation. When you are alone, it's autoerotic asphyxiation. When you have a partner, it's erotic asphyxiation. So there are different types of being asphyxiated. One of them is choking. That's common. With time, it has become common. Then there is bag overhead. There are some people who prefer having a bag over their head while they're having sex, and like airflow is constricted. There's strangulation, where you use maybe a rope, a twine, something of the sort to tie them around their neck and then choking them out. Then there is smothering, whereby maybe you use a pillow on their face or mouth, or your arm, or other things that you can use to smother. So what's the risk for this? The risk for this is when they go too far, you get brain damage. Yeah, obviously from like the not enough oxygen reaching the brain. Then if someone is choking someone the wrong way, you can get a damaged larynx, like your neck, the voice box. It can get crushed. There's aspiration, whereby someone, if you are choked, it may create a sensation of where you want to vomit, and then when you vomit and then you breathe in that vomit, it can lead to complications in your respiratory system. Then there is heart attacks and hematomas, where like other parts of the body start bleeding, like rupturing of arteries maybe in your eyes and stuff like that. So for autoerotic asphyxiation, if you are doing this alone, you have to create a fail-safe. If maybe you're choking yourself with a rope, you have to create a fail-safe, like a knot that is meant to give way when you pull hard. Let's say you've tied a knot around your neck, then after maybe beating your meat or something of the sort, then you feel like it has gone too far. You just pull the knot and it creates that fail safe where it becomes undone. Or maybe you are in a closet and when you pass out, maybe you knock your knees on the on the floorboards of the closet. Maybe that can wake you up. Then if you are doing maybe a rope around your neck or a belt or something, you can leave like 2 fingers worth of space in your rope, in your choice of instrument, so that you do not like kill yourself or something. Then there is bag overhead. The bag overhead it's wild. The bag overhead, maybe you don't tie the bag too tightly around your neck, or you don't smother yourself too much so that you don't die or something of the sort. So it has been seen that over like between 250 and 1,000 deaths are caused by auto-erotic or erotic asphyxiation in America every year. And I was listening to Chuck Palahniuk, the writer for Fight Club. He was giving a speech, like 3 stories which are true, and one of the stories was how like most of these maybe teen suicides are not like mostly these kids wanting to kill themselves or something of the sort. It's whereby maybe they were trying to jack off with a rope around their neck, and then maybe the fail-safe did not work, or they were not learned enough on how to maybe carry out that procedure, or they went too far and they kill themselves. So many parents find their kids naked with a rope around their neck. They just rule that death as a suicide. And there have been a number of celebrities who have also died the same way, who have passed on the same way, with a rope around their neck, maybe jacking off or something of the sort. And as I was researching this, one of the websites that was offering some information on the same said kink shaming kills. And when I tie this to these kids, yeah, like if you most of these things that people do, they're doing unsafely behind closed doors, because they're afraid they'll be shamed by their families, or they'll be shamed by other people, so they do it behind closed doors, and then they end up killing themselves in the process, which is sad. So for erotic asphyxiation, they recommended that one of the ways that you don't injure your partner if you're doing it with a partner is, one, have safe words, then have consent, and also know your way around the anatomy. So for instance, when you're choking, you should not be pressing the voice box of the larynx. You should be pressing the sides of the neck where there are the arteries. When you are maybe covering when you're smothering them, you should also be aware of how they react. If you're using a bag, also the same. So stay safe out there. And as we had said earlier, this is an educational podcast. We do not encourage you to try some of these things without proper investigation, or you should not try it with your partner if they've not given you a consent. Don't go. We did an episode on this where we said that don't go choking your women, don't go slapping them around, don't go spitting on them, and because we are in the age of the internet, if you feel you like this your thing, go research, look at what are some of the safe ways to carry out these practices, and then you may even find yourself in communities that maybe will tell you how to do things safely. So that's all for today. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our Substack, everywhere. And if you have alternative, if you disagree with this episode, or if you have alternative information, or if you want to fact check this episode, you can reach to us through our social media pages, our DMs, our email, blazetalkspod@gmail.com. We welcome that. We welcome dissenting opinions. Thank you so much.